Jai Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Welcome from the water underworld. Okay, so today what we are doing, I only complained yesterday, please don't do this. We are going to hopefully come very close to completing our 5th chapter. That means the answers to the questions that we gave during the exam last time. Last time. So we can learn something about 5th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So here we are, this is 518, text number 18. Text number 18. Okay, can you distribute this?
Yeah, so I'm confused with them.
But whatever, give whichever. Because none of them.
So I'll choose some good handwriting.
So give them double. You don't worry about it. Just okay. Give them. Let them choose themselves. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
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 That's really what we're trying to say. See. Oh. So here is the question, 27th. Since the Lord is present in everyone, where is the answer here? Why the, okay, well. Since the Lord is present in everyone, is it proper to treat a Brahmana and a meat eater the same? So what's the answer? What's the answer to this question? No, but whichever answer you're giving, yes or no, but then there has to be some explanation based on the purport in the Bhagavad Gita that's given. Hey, Vinit, you have a folio database on your mobile, Gita-based reader, Bhagavad Gita. Can you help them install this? In the meantime, they can have this. They can be checking purport because then it's...
Database website I can...
Give.
Database website.
That's good to have on your mobile. Sometimes you want to read, refer, whatever. It's a good thing. Okay, Vikrant, what's the answer?
Yes,
You should already know. Sajan, Bolo, what's the answer to this question? Anybody from the online? What's the answer? Question is, since the Lord is present in everyone, is it proper to treat a Brahman and a meat eater the same? That's the text 518, and that's the question 27. So what's the practical answer? Bolo. Hari Mahadev. Hari Mahadev. It is possible to treat. How, what? So Sajan doesn't agree with you. Now what you going to do? He's not agreeing with you. Vikrant is also not agreeing with you. And I think I'm also not going to agree with you.
Treating is not possible.
Huh?
Treating is not possible, but see them on the same.
That's what purport is talking about. But here what is mentioned is it proper to treat them in the same. So then what is the answer? So what do we do? Let's say, from the spiritual point of view, answer is yes, but from the material point of view, answer is no. So how is that reconciled? How do we reconcile? Yes. But that's the verse. Okay. Okay.
Everyone's heart, not sex. So here we can see the point of view, the moral sense, but in the material point of view, Brahmana is not situated in the highest mode of motivation.
Okay.
Right? The mode of goodness.
So that, let's say you meet
Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji. Sorry for the disturbance. Dandavat Pranam. My opinion. Sorry, I'm not able to give opinion. I'm just asking. It is somehow means somehow neither. They don't have any they're doing partiality in other human being and in animal. That's why they're Brahman and meat eater. They're the same.
Yeah, from the particular point of view of consciousness, they are the same, but from particular point of view, another point of view, again, they are not the same. They cannot be treated equally. Let's say if a meat eater comes, can we allow a meat eater to perform puja on the altar? Would that be appropriate? And you may say, well, they're all both spirit, soul. No. And Krishna is seated within each and everyone's heart as a Paramatma. So why distinguishing anything, right? So from material point of view, we have to make a distinction. You can't say everything is same. That would be Mayavad philosophy. I mean, very, very wrong thing to do. But again, from the spiritual point of view, they are the same as long as they are conscious of themselves as a spirit soul. But in this case also, Brahmana is going to be far more conscious of the spirit soul, at least theoretically he might understood. But whereas meat eater, I doubt that he can understand that he's a spirit soul. He's going to be pretty much very bodily conscious and not even having that theoretical knowledge. So therefore we do have to make a distinction, but we do have to also understand that from the spiritual point of view there is no difference. Okay, is that fine? Is that clear? Okay, so let's go on the 28 from today's second question to give second answer. They said here, a politician named the outcasts, all of them irrespective of their way of life, as Harijans, or people of God, in an effort to solve the communal problems between so-called high and low-class people. So the request is to explain in detail the Krishna conscious viewpoints of this. So then now you have to give some opinion of it. Then again, whether we can call and accept poor people as the people of God, is that appropriate? Vikrant, no. But then you have to explain. Come here, sit. So they can hear you. Put a chair here. So somebody who's giving answer, he can sit here. So the sound is audible.
From Krishna consciousness point of view, everybody is a son of God. Everybody is a Harishan.
Okay. So then why making distinction? These are poor and then
That is just on the material problem, so that people who are on the high class society do not trouble them or do not outclass them, do not give them the some privileges. That was because they were not treated properly. Hence, Gandhiji was who gave them the name of Harishan.
Okay.
So that it was basically to help them so that they are not like outclassed.
Okay.
Otherwise, from the perspective of spirituality, it is everybody is the son of God.
Yeah. So that would be also some kind of partiality only on the part of certain group of or section of the society, right?
Just giving them a name so that when they
And that's also
consciously, they will not treat them because they are Hari. The moment they will say, and especially when Gandhi said, they call them Hari, so his word also had some kind of power. Okay, ठीक है. Then Gandhi said, so let's not treat them.
Okay, so it's not appropriate to assign, first of all, just one section of the society as people of God, and second, they might not be people of God at all because they might not be God conscious at all, right? Okay, anybody else has some other opinion? Akash, what did you write in your?
There's nothing wrong with it. Everyone is treated even on the spiritual platform as stated.
Okay, that's a wrong answer. You get minus. Thank you for being honest. That's wrong. That's wrong. How come? It's wrong. Nope. We just explained that. Okay, anybody else has any question about this?
Question number 28 we are discussing.
28, yes.
I wrote, as per Krishna consciousness, everyone is Harijanas or people of God is Paramatma is present in everyone.
Yeah, but why would is Harijan poor? Is the husband of goddess of fortune poor? Man? Not man. Or better to say Krishna. Is Krishna poor? Can Krishna be poor? Is it making also any sense? So then why assigning, by assigning somebody else as such, then we are assigning that same thing to Krishna. That's inappropriate. He's the husband of goddess of fortune. Yeah, so how can he be poor? He's the source of everything. So that does make no sense. Okay, any other comments or questions on this verse? Or on this? Yes, question.
Please have low class people because of biggest karma. Right?
So that's a question or comment? Comment, okay.
So you cannot distinguish between like just so you cannot relax the biggest karma they get some types of.
Okay, but then you can't condemn them, but you can't also, you can't portray them as something that they are not, no? That's also inappropriate.
I think it is good. Just we should respect them as we should accept them as they.
Yeah.
We should not just neglect them. Right?
Yeah, but is Krishna consciousness having anything to do with rich or poor? No. Actually, we find that mostly the Brahmanas are very poor, and they're poor on the purpose. Like Dronacharya. I was just recently. I was just passing through. It used to be called Guru Gaon. Now it's Gurugram, and that's the place of Dronacharya. And he didn't have even milk to give to his son Ashwatthama. And Ashwatthama has been, presented something that was not milk, but it was just some kind of thing, washed rice, like you get that kind of milk, whitish or something. And it was being said, this is milk, but it wasn't. So he didn't even know. So Drona was so poor. Therefore, he went to Drupad's kingdom because they used to be friends in Gurukul to request for some cow, for some well, for something, anything. So he used to keep themselves, Brahmanas keep themselves on purpose poor, so they could be focused more on spiritual realization. So it has nothing to do with God consciousness, that's the, or richness. So many rich personalities who are very, very Krishna conscious. So it's not necessary there being one of one type or the other, that's immediately a sign of somebody being Krishna conscious. Not the case. Okay. Okay, anything else in regards to this? Otherwise we go to the next one. Okay, next one. 29. Based on what is mentioned in this verse, can you suggest a practical method to treat everyone equally despite their caste and creed? So what would be suggestion to treat everybody on an equal level?
Should be given to chance to.
I should be given chance to practice Krishna consciousness. Okay, how? By
Direct engagement is
but what did I said earlier about doing puja? I said somebody is not allowed on the altar, and then you might say, but then now you're discriminating. Now what to do?
after elevating the position of the status of life, when he practices Krishna consciousness, each heart will become purified.
Okay, so your heart and your position becomes purified if you practice Krishna consciousness. But everybody can start practicing Krishna consciousness. Okay. Okay, so one can develop all the good qualities of a demigod. Okay. Any other suggestions here? What was written? You can see also what is written in the paper that you're having.
Can't we just treat them like we want to treat ourselves? Like we want ourselves to be treated?
Yeah, that's correct. That's one of the principles of knowledge, proper understanding. That's what Chanakya Pandit said. Sees every woman as a mother, sees every possession that it's not yours as a garbage, and something to the extent of don't do unto others what you wouldn't be like to be done unto you, which is from the Bible, but it's the same thing. So that's a universal principle. So that's what Chanakya Pandit said also. So yes, that's correct. So whatever you wouldn't be like to be done unto you, don't do it to others, and whatever you would like, then you extend that to others as well. Is that okay?
Prabhuji, one more thing. Can I return this paper? I'm sorry, I cannot check it because I'm not able to see.
Take some other. Here, there's so many. There are plenty.
No. Actually, the only reason is because I cannot see things from their point of view when they wrote their answers, right? So it wouldn't be right for me to judge it. I'm not able to.
No, you're not judging. You just read. Something is there. Don't worry. Yeah.
Okay, I don't really have to take care.
No, don't worry. They're all failed. I already said that's already. Because everyone had to use the book to write.
I thought I had to judge them and adjust their answers.
No. Everybody.
How would I be able to do that?
Okay, so let's go to the next one. Let me see here. Okay, we have something in the box. Underworld, water underworld. We have to follow our Mahajan like Prahlad. What they do, okay, fine. But what was that in relationship to earlier? Looking at them from the level of the soul, fine. As we discussed, we have to keep in mind that each and every person is a part and parcel of Krishna and treat everyone according to this. Yes, but we also have to keep in mind that not everyone is equally qualified to be engaged in a particular manner. That requires some purification, some guidance. Okay, so next one. Still we are on the same verse, the last thing. What is the difference between the individual soul and the super soul? Wait a second. Now some of you who didn't write the test, what do you think? Okay, what do you think?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yeah, one second. We have it.
An individual soul is a part of the super soul. It's like I'm conscious and I'm a part of the higher conscious. We're all connected.
We are connected and we are part of.
So it's just there. An individual soul is just another fragment of the super soul, which when combined together forms the super soul. Just a fragment. What I believe is.
No, it's a fragment, but it doesn't form. Super soul is always super soul. Whether you become combined or not, he is always super soul. He is not dependent on us. We are dependent on him.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
And in my point of view, individual soul means actually a person who doesn't recognize himself or doesn't serve himself in the Krishna's consciousness, or in this and doesn't involve
that would be what
in
Prabhupada would say. Then therefore the soul is described as a part and parcel. Part and parcel. When you're connected, you're part. Like you go down to Govinda's restaurant and you take a parcel. So you get the substance, but you're separating it, you're taking it away. So when we are not connected, then we are parcel. Super soul is source of every individuality. Yeah, it is a source, but it's always, there is a individuality there. But you see, what is the most important here? You have to look, this is the text 5:18. Look at the purport. You may give your own opinion that it's fine, but look at the verse, what in the purport has been stated. Then you will be, or you won't be mistaken if you quote what is given there.
Individual soul is living in ignorance.
Not necessary. It's living in ignorance in the material world, but not in the spiritual world. And even in the material world, there are some exceptions. But of course, yes, from the point of view that God is never prone to ignorance. He is never subjected to it. That's correct. But what is it written here?
Soul only present in one particular body, whereas spirit soul is present in each other.
See, there is a direct statement given. Direct statement is given at the end of the purport. What is the equality and what is the difference?
Soul is conscious of one particular body.
Okay, yeah, it's very simple. It says, see, soul is conscious only of its own body, whereas super soul is conscious of all the bodies, because super soul is present with each and every one, each and every other body, no? It's a very simple answer. Okay, I hope we are learning something here. Fine. Any questions or comments on this? Is that clear? Distinction between soul and soul.
Prabhuji, for this means Aham Brahmasmi means this means text from the scripture will apply here for the super soul.
No, Aham Brahmasmi means I'm Brahman also. Atma is also Brahman. Atma is also Brahman, but it's not, it's not Para-Brahman. That's also different.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's again part and parcel, but it's not absolute complete. Yeah. Okay, so I hope this is clear now. So let's go to the next one.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Yes.
I have one small doubt with regard to this soul and super soul concept. In one of the lecture, I had heard that soul and super soul.
In your college, you've heard that? Which lecture?
No. In lecture given by one Prabhuji, I'm not remembering.
Yeah. Better don't mention. Let's hear first what he said.
So, soul and super soul are compared to two birds sitting in a branch of a tree, and one bird is watching another bird. So, soul is like he's the doer, but the super soul watches every activity of the soul. So, is it like the super soul doesn't do any activity and
he doesn't. He doesn't. He's just Upadrashta Anumanta. He's described as overseer and permitter. But when we decide to surrender, then that Paramatma feature turns into Bhagavan feature, and then Krishna takes personally care of us. But as long as we don't surrender to Krishna, we perform our own whimsical activities, then we are responsible for the same, and therefore Paramatma is just like a judge neutral. You do good, you get good, you do bad, you get bad, that's it. Okay?
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
So what is where are we now? Krishna, you have moved, what is this? What is the difference between the... Okay.
No.
Who does?
Krishna say has.
Who does? That makes no sense. Who does? It doesn't know who does. Krishna says has conquered. Okay. So who has conquered birth and death? This is the next text, text 19, 5th chapter, text 19. Give them Veda base somehow, install on their mobiles, whatever, let them read Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, text 19. So what it says in the text 19, who has conquered the birth and death? Who is the one qualified to conquer over birth and death?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Oh, wait a second, let me see here.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes.
Prabhuji, who is who is in full on samadhi, and he is the conquered mind. I thought.
Samadhi in what? You can be in all kinds of samadhis. You can sleep very nicely. You can sleep very nicely. You can be in nice samadhi. Doesn't mean you've conquered
Samadhi means apan by you. Sorry, you can. Please, you can. Yeah.
Okay, read from the text 19 what it says here. Text 19, Bhagavad Gita. That's why, at least if nothing else, now we are reading Bhagavad Gita. But that's not good. You should be already answering and knowing Bhagavad Gita. Yes.
May I try?
Yeah.
Those who have a sthira buddhi, those who act at the same at any situation and don't get agitated by the duality, dvanda,
Okay,
and subtle.
good, fine, thank you. That's correct. Equanimity, sameness of the mind. Because this is what it corresponds to previous verse where it said that, the equal sage of equal minds is everyone. So that's, again, that equanimity. It's continuation from the previous verse, that kind of consciousness of seeing everything with the equal vision. Basically seeing, being focused in spirit, being focused in Krishna. And therefore no material external circumstance will agitate or distract or disturb one. Whatever it is, one will still remain Krishna conscious. Okay, so that's pretty clear now, fine. Let's go to the next one. What is the sign of self-realization? And that's pretty similar to next question. Let's combine them so we save the time. It's deeper, more elaborate, but yes, please.
Prabhuji, we are not a body, we are soul. This is the self-realization.
Okay, that's
and
pretty
we are
good.
the partial of we are the part of the partial of Krishna.
Okay. Anybody wants to add something or inquire about anything here? So being self-realized, self-realization. We all think, what are we thinking? Who are you? Come here. Come here. Let me see your face. Who are you? Stop.
My name is Lokesh.
So, but who are you?
I am a soul.
Your soul. Amazing. Who told you that?
Actually, I continuously hear that I am a soul.
Okay, so you're accepting this,
Yes.
at least theoretically. So that is good platform. That is platform of Vijnana Maya. It's a pretty elevated platform, at least having that theoretical knowledge. Okay, good, thank you. Anything else?
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. One thing is more. We are a servant of Krishna.
Yes, that's the most important. We are a servant of Krishna.
Yes. We are servant of Krishna.
So how are you serving Krishna? How are you serving Krishna?
Lord, we are serving to our worship to Krishna and do seva and preaching and some kind of that's all. I have this only.
Okay.
because we are doing our seva.
Okay. Okay. Does anyone want to add anything here about self-realization? Yes. You had now in the exam, right? You had till 6th chapter. So you have covered. You've studied 5th chapter now. Let me see now. So what do you have to say? You also. Yeah. Okay. So.
Since individual soul has fallen in this material form, right?
Can you come here and just repeat? Vikram, you sit here. You sit here. You can come up the other side. Just speak into the mic here. No, just sit down here. You don't have to get in front. Just so
Since the individual soul have fallen into this material form, right, and just attracted to the varieties of material world, right, which is and just develop some hatred and attraction to this. But when it's he realizes that I'm not this body, right, particularly given by the material modes of nature. I'm the part and parcel of Krishna. And Krishna is so flawless, without attraction and.
It sounds nice, but when you realize
Right.
this,
After practicing Krishna consciousness, one elevated this position.
okay.
Right. So when the individual also develops such kinds of thinking that I'm not this particular types of body, I'm a soul, right, and I should return back home, back to what. And we gradually just elevating in Krishna consciousness by practicing this, he can attain it very easily. This is it.
Okay. Good. Thank you for encouraging everyone.
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yes, please.
Actually, I am regarding Bhakti Yoga and some other type of yogas that Siddhi yogis are doing. So I have one question on that. Suppose in yogis are doing the all kind of type of yoga to control their minds and their
This will come in the next chapter, 6th chapter. But okay, you can answer. That's coming in the next chapter.
Okay, so doing control their mind and senses and controlling all their activities. So in the Bhakti Yoga, how can any person can control? He can control their means my question in doing Bhakti Yoga, how a person can control their senses?
By positive engagements.
Okay.
It's not just by restraint, it's by positive engagements. And Krishna in 12th chapter beginning clarifies this. Arjuna is asking the same question. And then Krishna elaborates saying that it's far more easier and far more effective. So we engage our mind, we engage our senses directly in the service of Krishna. And in the course of time, they become purified and they gain higher taste and higher realization. Is that okay? That's in brief.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, let's go our next question. That is the question number 34 from the same chapter. By what symptoms is one considered a conditioned soul?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
What are the symptoms of conditioned souls?
Who is not giving up his own condition, means materialistic or material things in his mind going on, his conditioned soul.
Okay, there is one specific answer given in the purport. I want this. This is correct, but something more. Yes.
As long as one identifies with this body.
As long as one identifies with body, fine, that's also there, but there's something more given here. Anything else?
When one realizes
This can answer the sense. Yeah, that's okay. That can answer another question. By what understanding can such a soul be liberated from conditioned life? But what makes it conditioned? There is a sentence here given. It refers to Krishna, but it can be. No, it refers to living being. Yeah. It refers to Krishna also. Krishna is not conditioned, but what are we conditioned by? By what? There are two qualities, bad qualities given. Attraction and hatred. Attraction and hatred. What is attraction and hatred? What did we said in the beginning? What was the first question of the text 19? Who can conquer birth and death? What was the answer?
Someone is situated in sameness and equality.
Yes, no duality. Being equinemical. So now if we have attraction and hatred, this is how Shankaracharya did. Attraction, hatred, one should not be attracted to it. Anyway, I'm just elaborating. So if one has this attraction and the hatred, that means he lives in the world, it means he is not on the path of liberation. So that's a sign of conditioning. As long as you have attraction and then you feel repulsed or disgusted or you feel frustration or disappointment, that means you're not liberated. You're not on the path of liberation. It means you're still conditioned. That's why I brought it up, because then it becomes more obvious. Mostly we are attracted to what we are attracted and repulsed. So that there has to be equanimity. There has to be just, just seeing the spirit soul. But anyway, yeah. It's kind of interesting. I get inspired by, Anyway, so much we'll have discussion after this. I'll tell you. No, really, I'm not joking. It's like it just kind of pours out, but I'm controlling myself. I don't want to make this class something else, but Bhagavad Gita. Okay. Okay, so what happens to the self-realized soul after death? What happens when the self-realized leaves the body? Is it? Yeah, it enters into the spiritual sky. Okay. No longer taken birth and death. Okay, so that's clear. Okay, are we learning something here? I hope something is being retained and, some knowledge here from Bhagavad Gita about the super soul, our conditioned position, our liberated condition, what is required. You see, just in one verse, there's so many points to be drawn from. Okay. How does the entity becomes flawless? Yeah, really kind of did still. We can say more, but it's given the purport. How does living entity become flawless? Take also some of your realizations, man. Yeah, that's given in the text. No attraction and hatred. These are conditioned symptoms, but what else? Anything else? When it's a neutral towards what? Neutral towards what?
Neutral towards everything. You become zero shift, as we say.
Whoa, wait a second. Not really. Not really zero, but you have to keep neutral towards material conditioning. And equanimity doesn't mean just floating around doing nothing. But equanimity means performing devotional service, performing bhakti in spite of any kind of conditionings. That's the thing. So it's not like, okay, today it's very hot, so I won't come to the temple. Luckily it wasn't, but you may say like this, it's very hot, why should I come to temple now? So you're therefore dependent on certain conditions to do bhakti or not to do bhakti. Or like after now 2-3 months it's going to start raining and you say, oh, it's raining, why should I come to temple, why should I, it's like, or I don't feel so good because of whatever, so why should I chant my rounds Hare Krishna or something? I better watch some movie, and relax. Which is just the contrary, actually, or something like this. So one can really entangle himself in Maya pretty heavily. So that's why one has to be very clear how to become flawless. Okay, what is the similarity between Lord and the self-realized souls? What is the similarity? What is given in the verse itself? Which similarity is given in the...
No attraction. Flawless.
I think flawless. Both are flawless.
Okay, well, what else? What about the text itself? Brahman. But again we said, we are small Brahman, but Krishna is Para-Brahman. That's the difference. We are Anu and Krishna is Vibhu.
It was also mentioned in the earlier text that both soul and super soul are conscious, eternal and wisdom.
Yeah.
But
Satchitananda.
we have just forgotten.
That's the previous text. And now it's asking in here, this one. Okay, so let's see here what is the next text. This is Bhagavad Gita 5.20. Question 38. How does Krishna describe a person who is situated in transcendence? Okay. Next text. Who is situated in transcendence? Who is the one? That's the text itself. Anybody behind can read the text? I already gave you the answer, actually. Huh? Well, no, Sanskrit. Translation. No, not you. No, translation. Okay, Vinit, you read. You have that?
Only translated.
Yes, give that. Read.
A person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant.
Unpleasant, yeah.
Who is self-intelligent, who is unbelievable, and who knows that the science of God is already situated in transcendence.
Yes, so that answer is given in the text itself. It said, a person who neither rejoices upon achieving something pleasant nor laments upon obtaining something unpleasant, who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered, and who knows the science of God is already situated in transcendence. So that's the answer. Any questions here? You're correcting your own paper? So what answer you gave?
One who is self-intelligent, who is unbewildered by the purity of life and who knows the science.
Okay. Okay, next one. Why is a self-realized soul not affected by bodily attainment or loss? So somebody who's self-realized, why is he not affected by bodily attainment? Bodily may mean, receiving or discarding the body. That's pretty heavy. But can also mean anything in relationship to anything material that adds or assists the body or does not. That deprives the body or senses from something. Let's put it this way, something sensual that deprives you from your sensual enjoyment. So then how is the self-realized soul, not affected?
Because he is keeping Krishna at the center.
Always keeping Krishna in the center, okay, but how does that work?
He knows that these attainments and losses are just temporary.
He knows that these losses and attainments are temporary. Okay, that's fine. What else? Anything else? Hari?
He knows that it has nothing to do with Krishna.
What?
He knows that it has nothing to do with Krishna.
What has nothing to do with Krishna?
Already attained.
bodily attainment. Okay, but what if you use your body for Krishna's service? So then, what if you use your body for Krishna? What did Arjuna do? Arjuna just went to sleep or something, or what? He didn't use his body for fighting. He used his body for Krishna.
You're using your body for Krishna, you're not at loss.
Yeah, so you're not at loss when you use your body for Krishna. Okay, so is this somewhat... Okay. What elevates one to complete knowledge of the absolute truth? Look at the verse. Read 5:20. What is it that elevates one? What kind of... It's given in the purport. I immediately, spotted it. What kind of knowledge elevates one?
I was in offline class also.
The science of God, Prabhuji.
That's not given in the text. I want precise. It's given in the text. Read. If nothing else, if you don't have an answer, immediate answer. Yes.
But it doesn't mistake the body to be the soul.
Okay, he doesn't mistake the body to be the soul. Doesn't mistake body to be the soul. And another thing, one more thing. You found? You should read, find, open the Gita. Don't look just in the... Vikrant, what's the answer? One more thing. It's mentioned in the purport. It's given.
He knows his constitution. He does know his constitutional position perfectly well without firstly trying to become one with the supreme.
No, one more thing.
Steadiness of
Neither does he accept the body as permanent.
That's the thing. He doesn't accept body as a permanent. Just to add a little more. What is this? Krishna, he knows everything will perish at a time, but Krishna is eternal? Okay, that's fine. Okay, so next question. What elevates one to complete knowledge of the absolute truth? We're still at the text 20. What elevates one to complete knowledge of the absolute truth? Sajan.
After knowing the science of absolute truth, and the Brahmana, Paramatma, why the position he does not merge into the Brahmana.
Okay, so he doesn't even try to merge into the Brahman, and knowing that the absolute truth is Brahman, Paramatma, consisting of all the three features. That same absolute. Okay. And of course, just the answer itself, which we gave earlier, that's also the same thing. So that will elevate one to the understanding of the absolute. But especially knowing we are not the body. We are the spirit soul. Otherwise, how can you know the absolute? You don't know yours. I mean, if you... Actually, the analogy is like this. If you come out on the sun, then you can know yourself as well, right? If you're in the darkness, you won't know yourself. So you come out on the sun, you know the sun, but then you know yourself as well. No? So if you're in darkness of ignorance, if you know about Krishna, and if you know about knowledge that Krishna presents to us, then we will know ourselves. Okay, let's read another one. What is Brahman realization? How is it related to Krishna consciousness? So what is Brahman realization? Read in the text. Is there anything in the text, or we can conclude something from the text? It is given. It is given straight. That's what you said. Okay.
When he knows his constitutional position and doesn't want to get one with Brahman.
Okay, one knows its constitutional position and doesn't want to become one with God. So that might be a little confusing now, because usually when we hear about Brahman realization, everybody would think that our position is oneness with that Brahman, right? But here in the purport it is stated by the Acharyas in Srila Prabhupada that actually one knows the difference. He differentiates oneself from this Brahman. That's the Brahman realization. So you understand what is Brahman, but you don't see yourself as one with the Brahman. It's completely different. And that is real self-realization. Yeah? That is real Brahman realization. Is that confusing? Is that clear? Okay, so far any questions? Or let's do the one more last from this verse. I'm Brahman, God is Brahman, so I am God. Is this true? Is this true?
No, Prabhuji.
Which analogy we usually can present?
Here, Brahman and God is Param.
Wait a second. No, we don't have it here. Let's say I have a pot, clay pot. I have a clay pot, and I break that pot, and the air which was within the pot merges with the air which was outside of the pot. So everything becomes one. Is that correct? Wait a second. Yes or no?
Yes.
Whatever it is. Yes. Vikant says yes. Now you have to follow. So air from the pot becomes the air which was outside of the pot. So everyone agrees here? Are you guys behind? Yes? Everyone agrees? So do we agree then, therefore, that we were in the body? Once we come out of the body, we merge with whatever it's without the body? Yes or no? No. How come no? What is the answer? What is the answer? See, that is the point. I'm Brahman, God is Brahman, so I'm God. Is that true? I'm Brahman, God is Brahman. Even we said earlier, I am Brahman. I said God is Para-Brahman, right? But doesn't matter. I merge into Para-Brahman. We all become Para-Brahman.
They become a part.
You become a part, but there's no distinction.
God is this entire body.
But like the air, you can, let's say air, I like an air enter into this room of air, and I put a fan on. It all becomes, where is that part of your air then? You understand? Now how to deal with this? Did I confuse you sufficiently? Because you're not able to give me an answer. You're Brahman, God is Brahman. After leaving this body, which is all illusion, you become back. You become the absolute Brahman. So, what to do now? I have to think a little bit. But you see, you missed one very important point. And you allowed yourself to be distracted. Not to focus on one very, very important point. Okay, I agree. What do you have to say? No, don't use, there's no question of any different. Focus on this one. They're not going to use anything different. That means you're defeated in this one. If you're skipping on something else, that means you have accepted defeat here. Yes, you have something? Huh?
That pot is not mixing with the air.
Pot is not mixing with the air. Where did the nonsense pot came from? If you say everything is one and the same, where the nonsense this pot have come from? Everybody forgot about the pot. If everything is one, where did the pot came from? No? Where did the pot came from? So that's the point. So therefore the analogy is not an appropriate analogy. Analogy itself, it's flowful analogy. It's not appropriate. As soon as you talk about reality and illusion, that's duality. Even if you mention illusion, that's duality. It's not oneness. Then immediately you're talking about different types of Brahman. As soon as you call it different types, that means there are different Brahmans. It's not all one. That's the problem with Mayavad philosophy, yes. Because they are giving, those kind of philosophers are using this kind of analogy. Yes, it's wrong. Analogy is wrong.
So is the correct answer that there are some things that we cannot explain with words because words itself are a human construct? And how can we explain something that is...
But at least we can, that's what the analogy serves for. Maybe you cannot explain certain absolute concepts, completely. But at least you can to some extent explain them. And then the closer analogy, the better it is. But if it's flowful like this one, you can't use it. Then it's inappropriate. So there is some extent that you can use it. Okay, thank you very much. It's 9 o'clock. So I hope next time we will complete. We are at the question 43. How many more left? 43? How many are there?
14 more.
57. Okay, so next time we'll complete, hopefully. Or actually, maybe next time we'll see what will happen. Thursday, there's some Ram Katha going to be going on. But let's see. Thank you all very much for your attention. Please read Bhagavad Gita, get ready for, all these other verses, learn something. Okay, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Bhagavad Gita ki jai, Gaur Premanande.